Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Welcome back to Bayou Time News. I'm your host, Tanner McGee. Today we have Sergeant Ross Brennan with Louisiana State Police to talk about Labor Day and also an accident, unfortunately, that's happened. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get right into it. Actually, it's pretty sad news. We had a fatality accident. I know it's your worst nightmare as a trooper is when that happened. Tell us what happened.
So yesterday evening around 5 o'clock on August 28th on 311, we investigated a two-vehicle crash involving a motorcyclist that resulted in a man from Texas being killed in that crash. So our preliminary investigation found that there was a BMW that was leaving the Sugar Highland Boulevard, that neighborhood there. And for whatever reason, there was a motorcycle going southbound. The driver of that BMW failed to yield and pulled out, causing that collision. The motorcyclist died at the scene. The driver of the BMW was properly restrained and uninjured. Troopers determined that the driver of the BMW was not intoxicated, but they did provide a voluntary breath sample that showed no alcohol detected. And of course, we're still waiting for toxicology results for that motorcyclist.
Yeah, it's always tragic when something like that happens. And we've always got to be mindful to look out and share the road with everybody that's out there, whether it's pedestrian, bicycle, or motorcyclist.
Especially a motorcycle, because you definitely want to watch out for them. They're a smaller vehicle, so sometimes a little bit harder to see. So whenever you do pull up to a junction or a stop sign or a red light, always take that few extra seconds just to look and make sure that there's nothing coming, especially, motorcycle. And sometimes they move quick, so look right, look left again. So just make sure that nothing's coming. Absolutely.
And that kind of segues, we've got a big weekend of travel coming up. We need to make sure we're safety. It's Labor Day, and with that comes a lot of travel. What is the state police doing, and which all concerns?
So we're actually starting off with a DWI checkpoint tonight, August 29th. It's going to be somewhere in Lafourche Parish. In addition to state police, we're also going to have the Thibodeau Police Department in the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office involved. So multi-agencies involved. And the whole goal is to hopefully detect and prevent some of these impaired drivers driving on the roadway and try to maybe stop some of these crashes from happening. And also part of it too is to bring awareness to the driving, to drinking and driving. So we want people, if they're going out, have a sober driver. There's no reason really to be driving impaired. Have that plan in place beforehand of somebody to either come pick you up or one of your friends at the party, whatever it might be, that have that sober person to get you home safe at the end. So that's going to be sometime tonight in Lafourche Parish. But going into Labor Day weekend, it's a 3-day holiday for most people, and we just want to continue on that safe driving practice. So whether it is going to a get-together, a family party, whatever it might be, whether it's going to be alcohol consumption, again, have that sober driver. But if you're going to be traveling places, we want people to be properly restrained as well. And it's not just adults. Make sure the children are properly restrained inside the vehicle. It doesn't matter if you're in the front seat, middle seat, back seat. The Louisiana law requires for everybody to be properly restrained. And the reason for that is because you can have somebody in the back seat that's not buckled up and you get in a crash. That person is going to fly forward and potentially collide with other people inside the vehicle. So that person who wasn't wearing that seatbelt, they can injure those that are buckled up. So it just keeps everybody safe inside the vehicle. And of course, distracted driving, that's always something big that we see, is that people, whether they're distracted on the phone or with the radio, the GPS, or maybe even other people in the car. You might have a parent dealing with a fussy kid in the back seat. That can definitely be a distraction. So if there's anything that comes up that might take your eyes and mind away from the road, it's always best just to pull off to the side, handle that there, parking lot, wherever it might be, to limit those distractions. Because a few seconds not looking at the road, you can miss a lot of stuff. That can be like a red light changing, a school bus stopping, a car pulling out. You might actually be doing the right thing, but somebody else does something bad on the road, like run a stop sign or something like that. How can you react and avoid it if you're not paying attention?
Absolutely. It's a lot going on. Drivers, I think, have more going on now than they ever did before. And it's about being mindful and making sure that you're concentrated at the task at hand, which is getting to the your next stop safe and alive.
Especially traveling, like we saw yesterday between Lafayette and Baton Rouge on I-10, there was a couple crashes on the Basin Bridge. People were out there kind of stuck on the roadway for multiple hours. So if you are planning to travel out the area, I would recommend maybe planning an alternate route if the one that you originally had planned is either blocked with a crash or something like that. But if you are traveling, maybe pack some necessities inside your vehicle, like some water, some snacks. If you have some babies, maybe it's like baby formula, whatever it might be, because there's always that possibility traveling that you might come across a crash scene that's going to hold you up for a couple of hours. And it's unfortunate that you might be stuck out there, but at least you might have some provisions out there that kind of get you by until the roadway's open. Look, we try to open the roadway as fast as we can, but especially sometimes with these crashes with the 18-wheelers, we got to basically wait for a crane to come out there to move it. So even though we're working as fast as we can, sometimes it's going to take a little bit while. So you can either, use your GPS apps, but there's also 511.org. That's the Louisiana DOTD map. So they'll post where road closures are, if there's a crash or whatever it might be. And of course, we'll post major highway closures on our Facebook page as well. So there's just some tools that you can use to kind of maybe plan your routes. And again, just try to avoid some of those holdups that might pop up.
Yeah, I mean, the Basin Bridge in Lafayette, I mean, there's nowhere for traffic to even get off. You're just like stuck.
Yeah. There's always unfortunately something out there, and it seems like it's happening more frequently a lot. So I don't know if it's distracted driving or people driving reckless or what it is, but I think it just goes back to it takes all of us to make those right choices on the road, because it doesn't just affect you, it can affect everybody else behind you too if you cause this crash, right? So again, just if traveling on the roadways, just be safe out there, especially this holiday weekend. We want people to have fun, be safe out there, but just be responsible with it.
And absolutely, and I always think about the time, this is going to be a weekend for families to get together, to enjoy one another. You don't want that to be the source of a super tragic event that's going to color your family for the rest of their lives. That's how I always look at it.
Most definitely. And look, that's the worst part of our job, is going to knock on that family's door to tell them their loved one's not coming back home. So look, if we can all work together to try to limit those circumstances from happening, that's what it's all about, right? Because we don't want no more empty tables or empty chairs at the table because somebody made a bad choice on the road.
Absolutely. And we appreciate all the work that the troopers do to keep us safe and to put out information. Always willing to kind of help out when circumstances rise, to keep people safe. I mean, it's what y'all do. I don't think people realize that enough. It's really about safety at the end of the day.
Most definitely.
We really appreciate having you on and updating us on everything that's happening and telling us the tragic news and kind of give us some tips for this weekend. Thanks.
No problem.
That's all the time we have for this segment. This is Taylor McGee with Bayou Time News. We'll be back.
Social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.